Good evening, boys and girls. It's Friday, April 24th. It's TNT is off the rail. I'm Bud. We're hanging out. I'm going to talk about all kinds of weird, goofy stuff tonight. So, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Click on the bell, turn on your notifications. If you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you give a like to the TNT page and turn on your live notifications so you can keep up with everything whenever we go live. Don't forget, you can be part of the show like you saw earlier. You can hit me up on the comments on Facebook, or I'm going to try to remember to keep checking the YouTube chat as well. Or you can text me and let me know if you want. I can call you, or I can hit you up with a video call and we can get you on the show and we can talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. There's a lot going on around. A lot of you know we recently just had our sentence extended, for lack of a better term. We the governor recently announced the extension of the Illinois stay-at-home order. So we have another month to sit it out and wait, try to get back to pool. There's a lot of different stuff going on around some different places. I know I didn't keep up with a bunch of it, and I'm looking into it now. And if anybody knows more about it, maybe let me know. But I do know that Iowa was talking about trying to do some reopening and stuff. I'm not sure what the extent of that was, but you never know. Maybe something's going to work out there. I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a bunch of people going absolutely crazy, and it's been. Excuse me, my little nose was itching there a little bit. It's been hard, man. It's been rough, especially I know for those of you that don't have access to a table, can't get around and shoot as much as you'd like to, and I feel horrible for you because that's no fun at all. It's unfortunately I haven't shot much on my own table lately because it's turned into a project table again, making up masks and everything for the upcoming week here when we're going to have to start wearing them when we go out more. So really hurting the venues. I know just looking around, I've seen a lot of local places, doing everything they can to keep things going, take care of things. A lot of the bars are in a bad spot where they're doing everything that they can, by what's allowed of them. Unfortunately, we did have to recently cancel another tournament out at Dave's place in Lanark, and that's just that just breaks my heart. Jessica and her staff out there, they did an awesome job in the first couple that we had out there, and it was so much fun. Everybody really enjoyed it. It's a great atmosphere, and she's doing everything she can out there in Lanark to move things along in her venue, moving stuff out. She's getting ready. She probably just closed up just a little bit ago. She'll be back open tomorrow. So if you're out in the Lanark area or road tripping and need to pick up some supplies, stop out and see her. She's got some cool deals in the Fellows Pizza place right there, hooking you up. Some special deals if you get some pizza and some beer, you'll get hooked up. So definitely stop out there and see what's going on. So we got some stuff we're going to do tonight, and a little bit later on we're going to stick around. If you got yourself into that drawing on the TNT Facebook page for the Lucasi Q and case, we'll be doing that in just a little while. It'll come up sometime just after we show you the interview that we did earlier this week. And what else was I going to do? Hopefully we get to talk to some people tonight. We'll see. Waiting to hear, and we might hear a little more from Hollywood. Working on trying to get a little segment, trying to hang out with him as much as we can. So if he gets around to it, we'll try to get him on. No guarantees, but we have something for him, so we'll see what happens. We got some time. I'll grab my little sheet here and let's see what's going on. We did that part already. Of course, don't forget, like I said, say hey in the comments of the chat. Give me a text and let me know what you want to do. If you want to talk, 833-868-7665. We can give you a call and talk to you, or we can hit you up on a Facebook chat, video chat if you want. I'm working on some other ways. I know there's a couple other cool little Zoom and stuff like that. I'm working on that. So, touch on some league news. I bothered the heck out of some people this week, and let's see if I can find this here real quick. Where is it? I don't know where I put it. I'm not sure where it went. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Oh, no clue. No clue at all. Anyhow, so we'll move right along. Sorry about that. I talked to Andy Van Oosten from the Dixon City Pool League about what was going on with their end of the league season. I have the bracket, and I will try to find it and try to get it up here. And it's not cooperating with me. They were real close. The Wise Guys team had moved into the I believe the championship match, if I'm not mistaken, and they were real close to getting that done when everything went down, and they kind of got stuck. Andy says that they will make some more decisions on what to do once we're in a position to get back into the venue safely and everything like that. Might hear my puppies. They're vocal tonight. They're just trying to do what's best for everybody in the league. You know, they don't right now. They're just focused on making sure the players and the players' families are all safe and doing what they need to do to be safe. That's the main priority. You know, pool is it's important, but you know, obviously, family and the health of your family is way more important. So they're gonna keep an eye on things and hopefully get back to everything. And as soon as they know more, as soon as we hear more, we'll let you know. Obviously, a lot of it depends on what happens and how soon they let us get back into the venues to play. So that's all we can do is kind of wait. And I'm hoping I don't butcher this name. I've heard it once or twice, and I'm you guys know I'm horrible with names, but you guys will know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. Carlos Ureta, I think that's it. I'm sorry, Carlos, if that's not it. Has retired as the Sterling Rock Falls Men's Pool League Vice President. The Pool League will be accepting nominations. The league asks the nominees have a good knowledge of their rules. They play full-time in the league and have an open mind and be approachable. I talked to Bob about this a little bit, and he was basically, like everything else, pool and league related, a lot of things are just kind of up in the air and waiting for something to happen. So Bob said that most likely the voting will end up kind of getting mixed in with the sign-up meeting that they have preseason when they get together and do the sign-ups and the stuff that they do. And of course that's a bit down the road, but it, like a lot of things, it's going to be dependent on other things that go on. So they just got to kind of wait and see like everybody else. Carlos served as the vice president for 12 years, and the league thanks him for all of his service and wishes him nothing but good. Carlos, great job. Thanks for doing everything you can to help grow and promote our sport. You're a good man. Bob, you can keep up with more information on the upcoming stuff with meetings or anything like that happens on the Sterling Rock Falls Pool League website, srfpool.com. You can find links to that on the Facebook page and all over the place, and in previous Off the Rails too when we spoke to Bob. And what else have we got here? Trying to find something else here. I talked to Amy over at the Val Saturday League here in Dixon. This is a good one. They got a lot going on over there, and they're in a tight little fight over there, and I lost my paper again. Hold on, let me find it. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. They're in a nice tight little fight. They're all real anxious, obviously, like the rest of us, to get back to their league. They got interrupted with just 2 weeks left. Excuse me. And with just 2 weeks left, they are in quite the little predicament. Hopefully, I got all these names right. Amy shared some stuff with me, and I tried to read it out the best I could. Um, but they right now their league has, I forget how many it was, 12 teams, 14 teams. I feel bad because I was just looking at this and I lost it already. Um, but they have a three-way tie for first place. Uh, Annie and Marty, Terry and Amanda, and Monroe and Chris find themselves all three tied in first place with a 16-point advantage over the second place team of Kelsey and John. And then with third place, just 17 back, and fourth place, 18 back, which, if you do the math real quick on that, that's 1 point behind each other each way. And it's still kind of tight in fifth and sixth as well, too. It's going to be a great little battle to the end in those last 2 weeks. So, they, like I said, they're real anxious to get it done. And, it's a great league. It's been going on for a long time. It's made its way through a lot of people. There's a lot of really good history there. And they're jonesing to get back just like everybody else. I mean, I know it's not a surprise to anybody that they are. So it's going to be a nice little battle. She is, as she finds out more, she will let us know, and we will let you know. She has been in contact with Val, and the plan is they as soon as the bars are allowed to reopen, the very first Saturday following that, they will be back in there and they will get playing, and they will finish up those last 2 weeks they got and crown a new champion over there. And like I said, it's going to be a great battle. It's real tight. And those guys, they have a lot of fun. They are definitely very, very good at their fun over at the Val Saturday League. So good luck to all the shooters over there, and hope you guys have a great time. There is a, like I said, there's a ton of stuff going on. I talk about it a lot, and I keep saying it a bunch. I keep reaching out to them as much as I can to let them know that I'm here. And if you're watching, or if you know somebody who has one of these venues or small businesses, the locals here in town, in the area, anywhere, if I can help at all, get a hold of me. I will. Let me share your story. Let me tell people what you're doing to keep things going. Even if you're closed right now and just waiting to get reopened, and you want to let people know, hey, we're hanging in. This is our plan. This is what we're going to do. This is what we got coming up. Get a hold of me. Call me. Hit me up on the Facebook page. Just get a hold of me, and I will do my best. I will work with you, and we will come up with something. We will make sure that your name stays in people's minds, so they know that you're still out there, and that you miss them just as much as they miss you. So hit me up. I will be more than happy to help. You got, like I said, all these venues have done, I mean, it's so much for pool and everybody, and it's the least we can do is do our part to help out. So definitely get a hold of me. Phone number's right up there. Of course, TNT on Facebook. You can search it and find it. TNT doubles leagues. I had a conversation with myself about this. With the new extension, it puts us in a weird spot. The Rock Falls division doesn't have a lot that stands in its way. So, for the most part, the Rock Falls division could play no matter how long things go out, as long as the venues are open to having the players there. The Dixon division is real close to facing a problem because of how many teams we have signed up right now. It's going to be late. It's going to be June at least. I mean, hopefully before we can get that started, which is going to push us right up into where the fall leagues on Sundays start. Now, depending on how those things go, as far as the fall leagues, how they land, of course, TNT will still be hosting our Sunday fall league, just like we are, our last one we did last fall. We're expecting to hopefully grow, pick up some more teams. Depending on how the teams fall will depend on what we can do. I do have some backup plans to, no matter what, once things open, I will make sure that there is pool to shoot in Dixon. League and or tournament wise, I have some ideas for some stuff. A couple of the ideas I don't want to say out loud yet because they're that good. I don't want anybody to snag them up yet. No, it's not necessarily true. I've already kind of told a few people, but that's beside the story. So I will definitely keep you guys up on that. As of the moment, I am not going to cancel anything yet. I will start putting some feelers out there. It might be a little soon to start trying to line anything up for the fall league, but I will start putting some stuff out there just to kind of get an idea, so that maybe it'll help me gauge things a little better, to give us an idea of how deep into the year we can go once things get going. And like I said, like everything else, most of this depends on when we can get back to things, and so we just have to kind of sit and wait. Oh, don't forget, part of the show, hit me up in the comments. Hopefully I hit that right button. I don't. Give me a text. We're going to jump into this interview I did a couple of days ago. Some of you guys might recognize him from back in January when we were in Streator shooting the G1 Showdown. A great event, something that was a ton of fun. I was glad to be a part of it. It was well organized, well put together. Eric Noretto did an amazing job with it, creating the atmosphere, making the players feel like they were, in that moment. It was great, and I loved it. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. We sat down with how do I say this? I'll let the interview say it, and then we'll talk about it after the interview. We sat down with Brian Jason here on TNT Off the Rail. Take a few minutes and check this out, and I'll be back. TNT's Off the Rail. We're sitting here with Brian Jason. Brian, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, great. So where are you from, Brian?
I live in Minonk, but I'm from the Streator area. I lived in the Streator area most of my life.
Right on. We met back in January, I believe it was, during the G1 Showdown.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, so I hope you kind of remember some of that.
A little bit.
A little bit, I bet. So I got some questions for you. We're going to kind of get to know you and share your story with some people. What got you into pool? What was it that made you go, okay, I got to play this game?
Okay, so I probably got into pool first when I was about maybe 15, 16 years old. My mom was with my stepdad at the time, Taco John, and he's known around Streator as this big hustler for years and years with pool. And so I really hung out with him a lot, and he kind of got me started in the game. So that's really where I got my interest from, was from watching him go around and take people's money. And I really liked he was an above average pool shot, and I liked the banter back and forth with everything. So it really interested me.
So you spent a lot of time around it as a kid then?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely did. He owned US One Taco. That's where his name came from. And pretty much the entire time that he was around, his business was out of a bar. I worked there, so I had access to a pool table. I mean, I worked 50 hours a week all through high school, so I had access to a pool table, any time that I wanted. I remember times where when the bar would close down, he'd put towels in the pockets, and we'd shoot pool until the sun came up, and we'd only have to pay, for the game there, because the balls would just be caught in the towels. So
learning all the tricks real quick, huh?
Yeah, right.
So not to date you, I guess, but how long have you been shooting then? You said you started when you got around, you're about 15, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 36 right now, and I took a break probably for maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 years, because I was working a lot on the road and working a lot of hours each week. So I didn't have time to be a part of a league or anything like that. I really was focusing on my career and everything. So I took a break in the middle there, but probably, 10 years, I'd say.
And pesky real life getting in the way of things, always messing stuff up. So what games do you shoot? Do you, 8-ball, 9? Do you?
8-ball is the game that I played most of my life. I've tried to, over the last couple years, 2-3 years, get into 9-ball. I know 10 ball is like the big thing right now that you see everybody focusing on. I haven't really played 10 ball, so it's really just 8 ball and a little bit of 9 ball.
So you kind of answered my next questions, and so I guess you would say 8 ball's more your favorite stuff. So so now that you're back shooting a little more regular, well, obviously not right now, I guess. But so what discipline do you shoot mostly? Do you more of a league player? You play more tournaments to kind of balance? You kind of an action
Yeah,
guy?
I balance it out. I mean, I really, really like tournaments a lot. I think that they bring the best out in you, or possibly sometimes the worst, I suppose. But I like tournaments a lot. A lot. I still enjoy league play, and I definitely like the leagues that I play on. But my love is tournaments.
So you and if I remember correctly, you play in the streeter area leagues, right?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you play anywhere else or just in the streeter?
I played 2 leagues in Streeter, and I played one in Pontiac. Last year I played another one in Pontiac. Right now, well, the season's over, I guess, with everything that's happening. But this past year I played in 3 leagues, two in Streeter and one in Pontiac.
I was going to ask you that too. How is this? I've been trying to kind of set something up with Eric and trying to talk to him about some of the stuff that's going on out there. Are you guys postponed or have they actually canceled everything over that way?
You know, I don't know the answer to that question. I know like the Monday Night League that we're on for VNEA right now, that it's in limbo. That's basically the league operators are trying to determine how to finish the end of your team style tournament that happens every year with that league. So they're really trying to figure out whether or not they want to postpone it and risk it going into the next season, or if they're going to just cancel it all together and give everybody their payouts back. They're really trying to figure that out. So I don't know the answer to that question.
And I'm assuming it probably has to be the VNEA one has to be a little affected by, if I'm not mistaken, they're canceling most of the Vegas tournaments. I know that the ACS, the Omega Billiards one has been canceled, and I think if I read correctly, the VNEA Vegas Nationals were canceled too, weren't they?
Yes, yeah, and this was going to be my first year that I was able to go. I actually bought a plane ticket and booked the hotel and had it all set up, and I was excited. And yeah, then I got the notice that they canceled it, and it was kind of compounded on the disappointment that the Illinois State ACS one canceled too, which I already had everything set up to do that one too. So
Yeah.
it's been a year of disappointments.
It just keep hitting. They're not giving up. They just keep hitting us with all kinds of stuff, and it's rough. So you mentioned that you were going to make your first trip to Vegas. You've obviously played in other sanctioned bigger tournaments, state tournaments, or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I really just started last year. I was in the Illinois state tournament last year for the first time, and then this year I went over to the Iowa State one, and then had planned on playing in the Illinois one again, and then the Vegas one.
And how'd you do in either one of those?
In Illinois, it was my very first big sanctioned tournament, and I did okay. I didn't. I mean, I did okay in my perspective, anyways. I made it 3 or 4 rounds on the winner side, and so I was pretty happy with that. And then in the Iowa State tournament, I didn't do well personally, but as part of a team, we actually did pretty well. So I mean, we made it into the money, so I was happy about that.
Well, that's good. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So because you play both leagues and tournaments and stuff like that, how would you describe the difference in your mindset between league play and tournament play?
Tournament play is obviously more in the moment. I think you are forced to win now or go home. So that really, for me, it kind of sharpens my focus a little more. And I guess that's kind of sad to say. I probably should focus a little bit more on during league games too. But during a league, if you lose that night, sure. I mean, I have an issue with getting a little bit upset with myself. A lot of the players around me know that. I get upset with myself and get down, and then I start missing shots more often. But what's nice is you can have an off night, and then you can come back the next scheduled league time and have a great night. And at the end of the year, that off night doesn't really affect you as much, as long as you have more great nights than off nights, of course. Whereas in a tournament, if you're off, that's it. You're done. So I think that really it sharpens your focus a lot more during a tournament.
Right, and with the league thing, you're not doing. It's not always just about you. And I mean, obviously, the tournament thing can go either way. It can more than not, you're usually playing for yourself there. But you have the team dynamic versus the singles thing as far as that.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
so if you had to describe to somebody, you had to recruit somebody for a league. Maybe a new person, someone new to the sport, or even just new to leagues. How would you describe it to them? How would you recruit them to come play in your league?
I would say that if I was trying to recruit someone to play in my league, I would say that, I mean, obviously, it's a great chance for you to do something that you love with people that you enjoy being around, with your friends, So, I mean, that's a big draw of league plays is you're part of a team. So, most people grew up playing sports in school. This is as we get older, it's a little bit harder to go out and, be part of a basketball team or something like that. So you can have that team camaraderie with your friends as you get older and be a part of something where you get to share in a common goal. So I think that would be a pretty good selling point.
And if you had to recommend it to somebody, would you? A lot of people want to kind of dive into one or the other. Would you tell someone you think, well, maybe you should play some leagues before you go play a tournament, or do you think maybe just would you tell somebody maybe just throw yourself right into a tournament? I mean, how would you if you were helping guide a newer player, how would you go about that?
I would say absolutely to hone your craft in the league. That's what I would say. You would want to play league for a while, so that way you play all varying levels of competition, and you would have the chance to build up your confidence and your game as you went along. And then when you feel confident enough to become part of a tournament, then that's when you would want to join. I think my wife is a great example. She has loved pool for a little while now. After I was able to get back into it, I kind of showed her a little bit about it, and so she's starting loving the game. And she joined a league and had a small amount of success and learned a lot. And then she finally felt comfortable enough entering a tournament. And she didn't do great in the tournament, but she felt comfortable the whole time that she was in the tournament. She didn't feel the pressure, whereas before, when I was shooting tournaments and she was there, it was free for a woman to enter, and she didn't want to do it because she felt like it would be too much pressure. So I think that a league would definitely get you with your mind in a better place before you join in a tournament.
Right, and a tournament is definitely somewhere where you don't want to go in with your mind a little out of whack. It's really,
That's right.
I mean, both settings, league and tournament, it's going to really do that to you. But I think a tournament, if your head's not right, you're really going to be out there. So I want to talk a little bit about the G1 Showdown. It's been a while. It was back in January, but it was amazing. I was really happy to be a part of it. It was great. Eric does a great job with that. I loved the way he did everything to really put you guys in the moment. It was great. And if I remember correctly, it was your first time in the G1 Showdown. I mean,
Yes.
And you played for Streeter, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't know, but you guys did amazing. You guys had a great I don't want to say comeback, because you guys started off real strong. Everybody kind of thought it was gonna go down pretty quick, and you guys were gonna take it. And then Pontiac kind of fought back a little bit and really put it to it. And then, if I remember correctly, there was a pivotal game that put Streeter right back on track to take care of business. And if I remember correctly, that pivotal game involved you, correct?
Yeah. We were into day 3 of the tournament, and they had, like you had said, they had kind of fought back, and we were able to, I was able to do really well in a game there against Pontiac, and kind of put the momentum back on our side, and then we were able, to play strong through the end.
We went through into round 3, I believe. In the second day, we were doing some single stuff. They'd fought their way back real close to almost tying it up, I think. And you guys, it Because you guys were up 4 or 5 points on them, and they brought it within, like, I think they either tied it or with one or two, and then like I said, you had a. How much do you remember about that match? Do you remember?
I mean, I remember the game that clinched it. I do remember the game that clinched it pretty well. I don't remember everything about it, but I remember, I was able to make a shot that put me, that it was a pretty hard shot down the length of the table to put me behind the 8 ball on the short side of the table, and then I had to make the 8 off of the rail and off of the ball. I remember that.
And then that started a reckoning, I suppose, that finished it off. You guys came through nice and strong at the end there and kind of finished it off, and so that left you guys now, if I remember correctly, was the second year of the G1, so it's tied up now. Pontiac won and Streeter won because Pontiac won it the first year, and you guys got it the second year, and I remember, if I remember correctly, I think Danny Blackburn he finished off the night with a pretty impressive run out.
Yes, it was.
So I got to ask, how many times did you go back and watch a couple of your games?
I went back probably 3 or 4 times and watched the entire thing. Not just me, but yeah, I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times, with people, without people, stuff like that.
So are they? How much is all this affecting that season? Has a new G1 season that probably won't start for a while until later on the year, maybe? Are you planning on playing again to make the Streeter team?
Yeah, and what happened actually this past year, and for me playing for the Streeter team, I actually played for Streeter and Pontiac, and I had to decide, who I was going to play in the G1 for. So, I don't know if I'll play for Streeter and Pontiac in league, but, if I do, I'll have to decide who I'm going to play in the G1 for.
And you had a great group of people. I'm on the top of my head, I'm trying to remember everybody's name. I remember Obi was on your team, Danny Blackburn. I'm drawing a complete blank, and I just looked it up. Who was the team captain again?
Tom.
Yeah. I was thinking Jim. I don't know, like Tom.
Yeah, and Digger was on the team as well.
Yeah, there you go. And so I forgot. I think I might have asked him about that. So you guys got the coveted G1 Cup. Where is that, hanging out in a bar in Streeter somewhere?
Yeah, it's actually there in La Villa, right above the table where you're playing, right there in the corner on the shelf above where you were actually.
Okay, all right. I remember there were some trophies sitting up there. Now, you said you shot in both cities. What was your home bar in Streeter for that league?
My home bar last year was La Villa.
Okay.
It was La Villa. Yeah.
Angel did a great job over there hosting the thing, and it was great. I absolutely loved the crowd that it drew when they had that little seating section for everybody to hang out, and I loved the vibe, the atmosphere of the people who are watching the teams, the way you guys, and it was nice to see that energy. That's the part about the sport that everybody loves, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't get to see enough of, and hopefully we're down the road, we're going to be able to bring more of that to people. So we were talking about some of these bigger sanctioned tournaments and stuff like that, and you said, we talked about playing leagues first before you get into tournaments. So, so a person's got some league experience under their belt. They maybe played a couple bigger tournaments, bigger local tournaments or something like that. How soon would you recommend to a player before they go and experience something bigger like an Illinois State or an Iowa State?
Oh, I don't think that you can really put a time on that. I think if you are comfortable with the pressure of a tournament, I think it's a great experience. As soon as you feel more comfortable being with varying levels of competition. So I don't really know that I would put a certain amount of time on it. I think it's more about the experience than anything.
Kind of when you feel right and ready for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, do you remember the first tournament you ever played in?
The first local tournament, you mean?
Just the first tournament you ever bought into.
Sure. I would say that I don't remember the particular one, no, but it was probably from what most of the tournaments, the early tournaments that I've entered were like on Facebook. A bar would post something, hey, this weekend there's going to be an 8-ball tournament, $10 buy-in. I think I'm pretty sure it was something like that. I don't remember the particular one, though.
Okay, so then let's just take that up a notch. What's the first tournament you can remember? What about that first tournament do what's the first tournament that stands out in your mind?
Sure. Yeah. The Streeter Sunday League last year, the end of year tournament. I remember that because I actually got second in it, which is the best tournament finish that I've ever had. So that's the one that I remember because it was the one I had the most success at.
So you I mean, as far with your leagues and stuff, how have your teams fared throughout the leagues that you played? Have you ever won a team championship in any of your leagues? Or
No, no. I well, over the years, I mean, we usually finish middle of the pack. Fourth, fifth, something like that. This past year, we finished third. I think that was probably one of my better finishes on a team. But no, I've never won with a team or anything like that.
so you mentioned the second place in that league tournament. If that wasn't it, what if you had to? What would you say was your best pool moments? Something that just will always stick with you, that you always be like it'll kind of always come up in conversation with somebody.
That G1 was probably my best pool moment, honestly. That was I really didn't know anything about the Mosconi Cup at all. I really learned about it like over the last couple of years, and then I really kind of just devoured all of the video and all the information about it. And then when I heard, I didn't even know last year that they did a G1 Cup, and I found out about it this year. And when I heard that that we were going to do it, that was my main goal throughout the entire year, was to qualify for that. And when I qualified for it, that was an exciting moment. And then the fact that I was able to help contribute to our team's win, being with guys that had years more experience than me, and playing against guys that had years more experience than me. That up to this point, that's probably my most memorable pool moment.
And it was a good one. I remember when that got done. There was a lot of talk because they don't name an MVP for the G1 Showdown, but there was a lot of talk that if they did, they were your name got thrown around quite a bit because they were it was your game, like we've said, was very pivotal. It you guys came out strong, and then things kind of hit the mud and kind of
Yeah.
spun for a little bit, and you guys, but as a team, everybody, you guys stayed in it. You kept each other up. There was nobody got down on themselves, and you guys you went in there kicking and screaming, and then your match, just you could feel it in the room. And and if I remember correctly, in the video, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can see it in there. You can see that you could see your team really starting to be like, okay, no, we still got this. We're not done. And it was a big pivotal moment. And it was neat to see at the end when Eric talked to everybody and stuff like that. When he talked to you guys, it was a neat experience. Again, Eric Naredo did an amazing job putting that on. He does a great job of really putting you guys in that moment and really making it feel very authentic. I mean, it had a great feel, and it was that, to me, that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy about the sport. I like to see people with that kind of passion bring it, give that to players. You know what I mean? Because there's great pros in this sport. There really are, but they all came from somewhere, and you like to think in your back of your head that they come from something like this, where people have this kind of passion. And I know you were having a great time. I know you were absolutely and you were so pumped after that game, and
Yeah.
it was just you. It was one of those moments you just knew, yep, we know who's going to win this now. So it was really good.
Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely a team effort all the way around, so it was a lot of fun.
So definitely looking forward to getting back and then trying to qualify again. Um, Probably obviously doubling down your chances playing in both Pontiac and Streeter. That probably worked out good for you. Did you?
Well, that's what I thought when I joined, but I had to make the decision early. So yeah,
Oh,
it wasn't an advantage on my part. Like,
they didn't let you go. Oh, okay, you qualified in both. Which one you want to do? Okay.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So then I suppose there wasn't a lot of people giving too much grief about playing both sides then.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, no, of course not. No.
And yeah, it was nice to see how well both teams got along, but we're still able to enjoy some good trash talk between each other.
Sure. Yeah, and I wasn't a part of that rivalry before, so it was a lot easier for me to, make that be able to make a decision like that. And obviously these guys were more entrenched in the competition of it. So that yeah, there was a lot of friendly competitive banter back and forth.
It was a ton of fun. Well, I definitely look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully when everything gets back to normal because obviously, have you been shooting much? Are you able to shoot?
Yeah, I have a pool table at home, so I've been doing a lot of ghost games, just trying to get better. I know a lot of people haven't been shooting, so I'm hoping that when we get back into the swing of things, I can come out strong, and maybe they'll be a little rusty, and maybe I'll win a few more games.
There you go. We've been talking with Brian Jason. He was we saw him a couple months back in January playing in the G1 Showdown. Eric Noretto's Great Moscone Cup style tournament between Pontiac and Streeter. For those who may not know, Streeter did end up winning that the second year of that. So the G1 Cup is floating around over there, as Brian told us, over in La Villa. And it's been awesome talking to you. I'm really glad we got to hook up. I'm really hoping you get back to shooting some soon. I hope we get to see you again in the G1. I'm trying to think if I have another question. Is there any shout outs or anything you'd like to say before we go?
Maybe I just want to shout out to my wife and kids. They've been taking real good care of me while we're kind of all stuck at home. So that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you. It's been TNT's Off the Rail with Brian Jason. We'll see you next time. You have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks. You too.
And that was Brian Jason. Shoots out of the Streeter and Pontiac League. And like we said, we saw him in the G1 Showdown with that pivotal match that got the fire lit back under Streeter and gave him the incentive to take it to the end. Don't forget, you can be in that spot. All you got to do is get a hold of me, give me a call, hit me up on Facebook or something like that, and then when we can sit down and have a little conversation and share your story with people, let everybody know it's you guys, it's the players, the weekend warriors, the every other days, whatever your schedule is, hanging out at the bar, shooting, putting on that shirt, doing the league thing, pumping the quarters. You guys are the backbone of this sport. So let's get to know you. Let's share your story. Let's promote this sport. Let's give it the exposure it needs, and it needs to come on every level, and not just the professionals. It needs to come from everywhere because those professionals came from somewhere too. At one point, they were pumping quarters in a bar somewhere. So don't forget to get a hold of me and let's share your story. Venue owners, I'm still looking to talk to some of you guys and share some of your stories. We're going to try to hook up with Hollywood. I'm going to try to give him a call here in a second. I was going to try to do a video call with him, but it's not cooperating with me at all. I did find this bracket here. I was going to show you guys. We were talking about this earlier. The Dixon City Tournament bracket. Here you go. When Andy and I were talking about this, he was telling me I'm trying to think of what the word he used for it. The Wise Guys team was just really going in there and laying down some upsets. You can see they moved into the championship match. They are in the hot seat waiting for the rest of it to go down. They obviously are looking for, they're just a couple weeks out, kind of hit an abrupt stop there when everything went all weird. So they're waiting for the Palms and Corner Spot team to play out and send somebody over to play against that Catalinos 1 team. And then that'll shape up that final when we get going. So like I said, they're just kind of waiting things out to see how it's going to go, to see if, how soon they can get back. Right now, from what Andy says, they are fully intending on getting back and getting it done. So you know, like everybody else, they're just eagerly waiting to get in there and get back to shooting. So you know, it's a big waiting game. It's what we're doing. So you know, we don't have a lot of choice in the matter. It's just that's what we're doing. We're playing the waiting game, hoping things go well. Hollywood, if you're watching, either hit me up in the messenger and tell me if you're going to try to call me a video or if you want me to try to call you on the phone real quick. We can try this here. Let me see. We're going to do that drawing here in just a second. Let's see if we can get hooked up with Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood, if you're watching, try to hit me up on a video call real quick, and if it doesn't work, message me and then I'll give you a call on the phone. So we'll see what he's doing. Be part of the show. Jump in that comment section if you're watching on. How about I just give you a phone call? That'll work. Let's dial Hollywood up here real quick and get a hold of him. I lost it. I lost my buttons. We're going to give Hollywood a call here. But be part of the show. Jump in the comments on Facebook if you're watching. Make sure you give the TNT Facebook page a like. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, and click on the bell to turn on your notifications. On Facebook, make sure you have your live notifications on to let you know when we go live on Facebook. It's ringing. Let's see if Hollywood answers. Oh, that's loud as heck, isn't it?
Sir.
Hollywood.
What's happening?
Not much. How you doing, buddy? You hear me all right?
Yeah, we're live from the pigeon coop, bro.
Live from the pigeon coop.
Well, I shouldn't say we. It's just me.
Well, yeah, just hanging out, doing your thing. Well, you know, that's what happens when you got the social distancing going on, you know. You got to hang out and do what you can do.
Right.
So we talked earlier. You said you were going to put together a list, and I don't know if you got the little thing here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't know what I did with it. That's not it. Nope, that might be it. Oh, yeah, let's see. I don't know. Did you put together a list for the Hollywood's Pigeon Coop call-out?
Well, I do have a little bit of a list. I mean, we do have we got Ken Harbaugh is going to be taking on Sam Maggio sometime next weekend. They wanted to get it this weekend, but it just couldn't make it happen here at the Pigeon Coop. I got people that have already claimed the table, blah blah blah, and so that match I guess is going to happen. Maybe we could get if somebody else out there's got a table or something up that's open, maybe like a Bob Steinhagen or something like that, want to host a game at the house and video it for us. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, we can definitely help them get that out there.
I know Steinhagen has a real nice table.
Yeah, he does.
I'd like to see the matchup. So, yes, we were talking about matchups. So here's the matchups, some of the matchups that I'd like to see. I'd like to see the matchup between Jeremiah Easley and Cal Stage 8-Ball.
Ooh.
I think that's a good game. I think if we can get them two together somehow, some way, with, you know, I understand we got the pandemic and everything going on, but I really truly believe that'd be a good matchup for both guys. And it'd be bragging rights. They used to be teammates. Used to play on Thursday Night Traveling League. I'd like to see them two guys go at it. Are you still there?
I'm still there. Yeah, I'm just listening. Oh. I'm intently listening to it. And while you rethink that, don't forget we're talking to Hollywood live from the Pigeon Coop. Talking Hollywood's Pigeon Coop call out. If you got something you want to ask him or maybe bounce off him, an idea for a call out, hit me up in the comments real quick and we'll share it with Hollywood. What else you got, Hollywood?
Well, I was also thinking a good really really good matchup that I'd really like to see is, well, we did talk about this last week about some of them good open players getting together and maybe having like a tournament, like a Ken Harbaugh, Sam Maggio, Justin Tompkins. Maybe even myself, you know, or something of that nature. You know, it'd be nice to get 4 or 5 of them together and just, you know, they could throw in a few bucks and get a video going and do that too. But another matchup, and we did talk about this one last week too. I'd still like to see the Jack Dillman, Al Martin match, two guys out of Iowa. And now I know you're not familiar with either one of them, but that would be a really, really good matchup.
And if you're talking about it, it's got to be. So.
Oh yeah, yes, it would be a great matchup. I'd like to see. Oh, let's see, who else do we have on here? Oh, I remember. I have a matchup that I would like to see. I know Michael Goodman, last time he came on the TNT tournament, he wasn't quite successful against Adam Thomas. He struggled a little bit, but if Michael Goodman gets back into the game and sharpens it up, I'd like to see him play Josh Suits out of the Peoria area.
Ooh.
I think that would be a really good matchup. Them two there, both advanced players, and I think you'd see a really, really good matchup there. Or a Josh Suits versus an Adam Thomas, or,
Oh, yeah.
That I think that'd be a really good matchup. We also talked about, hopefully in the future here we'll get to see Rick Carrillo take on Donnie Daly. That would be also another good matchup. And
Yes.
who else was I thinking, grudge match-wise? I know that we had talked about a few, and I made a list, and I had it on my phone, but I can't talk on my phone and watch it at the same time. Oh, I remember. I would like to see Ducky, otherwise known as Jeffrey Hawks, take on Jeff Marks in an 8-ball.
Ooh.
I think that would be an exciting matchup for TNT tournaments. If the two guys could get together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be a phenomenal match, like a race to, they could do like one race, say, to 15 or something like that, or two races to like 10 or 15. And if there was a split, they could do, they could have a tiebreaker match or something like that. I think that would be a really good matchup between them two. Two really, really nice guys. Also, we talked about Timmy Bly and Jeff Clark. I'd like to see that.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd like to see that matchup. Also, I was looking through here, and we got a couple of guys that I've added on here that I'm not real familiar with, like Tyler Foyt. I mean, I know who he is, but I've not known his game. So anybody out there knows a good game for Tyler Foyt, and they post that up for us. I'd like to see him get out and play. I know he likes to play and likes to gamble a little bit, so that would be something in the works. Maybe get that Tyler out to play. Oh, let's see here. I'm scrolling through our list. Oh, here is the matchup that I want. And this guy's been ducking me for a decade. A decade, I'm telling you. You were just on the phone, or you were just on video chat. Well, what was the young man's name?
Oh, with Brandon? Or
Yeah.
Jason? Yeah.
Or Jason. Jason.
Well,
His teammate,
Brian
really,
Jason.
really nice guy,
Got me all
Danny
confused.
Blackburn.
Oh.
I want to play that guy because he's been ducking me forever. So I hope he watches the Off the Rail episode tonight. He hears me trash talking him in front of everybody, in front of the thousands and tens of thousands of people that are going to see this video, and he's going to hear me call him out. Danny Blackburn, I want to play you 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, whatever you want to play. Just let me know.
Oh, that I'm not. Yeah, that would be good. Brian Jason. I'm sorry, Brian. I feel really bad that I'm
Brian
horrible
Jason,
with names.
okay.
I'm getting old. I'm climbing up there in age, and I'm forgetting things a lot. So Brian's a good guy.
Another exciting matchup that I thought about, and I know that these guys have tangled before, and they would have no problem getting together and playing. And I mean, you might have to wait for all the pandemic, all that to clear up, and who knows how long that's going to be. But I would like to see Jason Welker take on Matt Van Campen.
Ooh.
Yes, from Clinton, Iowa. Have Jason take him on in either 8-ball, 10-ball, 9-ball, whatever they want to work out. Maybe like play all 3 games and have a 1 9-ball, 1 8-ball, and then play the tiebreaker, 10-ball, something like that if there's a tiebreaker. I don't know. Whatever they wanted to do. I think that would really be a really good matchup.
Now, real quick before I forget, last week we were talking. Jason Welker was supposed to be playing somebody last weekend, and
he was going to play Donnie Daly. They just didn't. They didn't get together. Jason hadn't been feeling the greatest earlier in the week, and I just don't think. I just don't think they got together. I mean, I'm not saying that the matchup still won't happen. Also, the matchup that never happened that we'd like to see happen is Jeremy Coy was supposed to be taking on Alex Grell. Now.
Yeah,
whether that's ever going to happen, I don't know. We're going to have to get with Jeremy sometime and rattle his cage up a little bit and see if we can get him to play Alex.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. The Flyers still floating around. I remember now that you mentioned that. I remember that we kind of got put on the back burner and never heard about it again.
Yeah, that was 2 players that were going to play, and Oh, let's see. I know another good matchup. Two guys that I don't know. They might know each other. They might not know. But Brandon Mall, he's out of the Princeton area. I know he lives down right around in there somewhere.
Yeah, I can't honestly remember exactly, but I know because he works at he doesn't he bartend at the Black Rose?
Yes, well, last I knew he did. Now, I haven't heard from him in a long time, but I'd like to see him in a 8-ball or a 9-ball matchup, 10-ball, whatever they wanted to play, against Justin Tompkins. I think that'd be a really good game.
Yeah, it would.
It'd be an exciting matchup to watch. They both shoot well, and, they're both strong open players, probably more at the top of the open division. I think that'd be a really good matchup.
Now,
or I would like to see, I can't remember his last name. I was just watching a video with him last night, and I'm trying to think of his last name, if I can get it out. Steve's last, yes. And I'd like to see Steve take on Mike Creighton. You remember Mike?
Yeah.
Steve Otter. Oh, is it Otter?
It's Otter. I like Otter, but I believe it's Otter.
That's Otter. Steve, I'd like to see Steve and Mike get together and play a matchup. I think that would be a very exciting matchup. Now, I don't know if them two gentlemen know each other. I know that they played in tournaments with one another for sure.
They've been a couple out of the Black Rose. I know that.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're aware of one another. I think that'd be a good matchup. I heard Steve's playing well. Mike plays good, so that would be another great matchup. And let's see, there was another one that the matchup that I think we need to see the rematch of is because I keep hearing, every once in a while I hear talk on both sides of the fence about who's the better player, this, that, whatever. And I know Brett Hopkins has been on a lot of the grudge matches because the guy just ain't afraid to play. I mean, you got to give him credit.
Right.
But him and Bill Lilly, I'd like to see the rematch between him and Bill Lilly.
Yeah.
I know that Bill's been buckling down. I know he's been playing. I don't know how much Brett's been able to play with everything that's been going on, but I think that matchup would be a great matchup to see.
And he's been working regular too. Yeah, there are actually of a lot of the great fight nights we've had. There's been a lot that I definitely like to see some rematches. Obviously, we know that the long-awaited one was Carrillo and Brashaw were supposed to play again, and they haven't been able to work that one out either.
Right. Well, and I know that James, he lives. Well, I believe he said he was, last I knew, he said he was been in Rochelle for a while, but I know he lives around the Mount Carroll area or something of that nature, if I remember.
Lanark or something like that, yeah.
Right. Or wherever. I knew that he was around in there somewhere, so. And I know that Jesse Kent had contacted me and wanting to get in some action with somebody, so if there's anybody out there wanting to play Jesse Kent, let us know. Speaking of Brett Hopkins, he came to the Pigeon Coop last week, and nobody updated.
Oh.
But he played. Who did he play?
Don Kolthoff. Yes,
he played Don, and from what I understand, they played 3 sets. Don won all 3.
Right. Yeah, I read some of it on there. Something horrendous happened in 9-ball. From what it sounds like, Brett completely forgot how to play pool for a minute during the 9-ball.
Hey, that happens to all of us at times.
It does. We're talking to Hollywood when Hollywood's Pigeon Coop call out. He's live at the Pigeon Coop and
the master of the grudge matches.
Yep, master of the grudge matches. He will if you're looking to call somebody out, get a hold of Hollywood. He'll put you on the list and he'll help facilitate it because nobody loves seeing these grudge matches more than Hollywood. I want to tell you right now. You got what else? You got anybody else on that list, or you want to hang out with us? Well, we got a drawing we need to do here to give away a cue and a case.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
I have a little wheel I'm going to spin here, and we're going to do it. Ryan Wade just said, Hollywood, he wants to play Carl Banda on Tuesday after he's off work on Tuesday night.
Well, I mean, I will talk to him about that. Tuesdays is not good for me generally. Not this coming Tuesday anyways.
Right, yeah.
But I got some doctor stuff I have to take care of on Tuesday, so Tuesday is probably not a good day. Probably has to be Thursday or Friday or something of that nature. just because I once Tuesday comes, I'll need a couple of days of recuperation.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. Well, if Ryan, and we'll pass that along to him. I'm sure he's probably watching. Like he just commented on the Facebook stream. So, you got in? Do you have any more on there? You want to hang out while we spin the wheel and see who got this stick?
Well, go ahead, spin the wheel. Let's hear who wins.
All right. So if you earlier today we put up a little list and stuff to get signed up to win yourself the chance to purchase there it is. Purchase. Ryan says he can do Friday as well, Hollywood.
Well, Friday should probably work. I should probably be back on my feet by then.
Long story short, Ryan, just get a hold of Hollywood. So
Yeah.
if you're hanging out waiting for us to do the drawing, we're gonna do it. There's a list on the. I'll have to find the list. Hold on. There is. Where is it? All the stuff I did so well this week, Hollywood. You'd be surprised. I have papers, typed out stuff for me to read, and I was all kinds of prepared. And the one thing I forgot to do was make a list of these people that are on here, so I could say, "Hey, you won this." And now I can't find it. So what I did was we had 15 spots, and people picked the numbers they wanted. Quite a few. Everybody except for one person got 2 spots at a time. One poor guy got in the last second and took the one lone spot that was left. So there's my list. So let me flip over here. I'm gonna just bring up the whole window. You'll get to see what I'm doing here.
I don't have the window up anymore.
I know. The rest of the people, so they'll get to see it. That's all right. So what we're gonna do is this little wheel has 15 numbers on it. There's a number on there. Don't worry about that. That's just what was on there. I'm going to click this button. It's going to spin around. It's going to land. There's numbers 1 through 15 on there. And it's going to land on a number. And the number it lands on is going to be the winner of the Lucasi Q&A case that we are giving away. So if you're hanging out waiting for that right now,
That's the hybrid Q, isn't it?
Yes, it's the LEH-10.
Wow, somebody's getting themselves a nice Q there.
It is. It's a very nice. It's gently used, and after hours of rigorous negotiations, I finally managed to unleash it from the owner and get a hold of it. So let's hit this button and see what happens. And the lucky winner is number 12. And let me look at my list. Number 12 is Bryant Lilly. Bryant Lilly, you have won the Lucasi Q&A case. If you're watching, hit me up on Messenger with whether or not you want to ship that, or if we can get together and I can drop it off, or you can pick it up or something like that. Just get a hold of me and we'll get it all figured out. Number 12 was what we spun. Well, I'll give you one more look at that wheel so you can. And it was kind of weird that it actually came back up 12 again. So number 12 was the winner, Bryant Lilly. All set up there.
There we go. We got to find him the grudge match. I think he played on one of them and played Christina, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
Did he win or did he lose that match? I forget.
I think he. Oh gosh, I don't know. We've had so many of them. I think it was another one of those really close ones, but actually I think Chris pulled it off. I think Chris managed to win that one.
Well, see, there you go, rematch time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a ton of them. Don't forget, we do fight nights, and of course right now it's a little harder than it normally is because of everything not being able to get to places, but because there are so many great people that have tables, and with acceptable social distancing. Ryan Wade says he'll give me. I think he wonder if he's talking about Brian Lilly. Ryan Wade says he'll give him a shot.
That actually would be a great game for Ryan Wade. Bryant and Ryan would be very close action. That'd be a great matchup.
Yeah. There's a ton. I'd love to get a hold of. Love to just start getting back and doing all these, man. The fight nights were a ton of fun. They were an absolute blast. And
sometimes it is hard to get people together and to play. I mean, some people, pool players are a little funny. Some of them, they like to play, but they don't want anybody watching them play.
Right.
They're like, well, yeah, you put me on video, then you give all my secrets away. Everybody sees how good I play. Well, the thing about it is nowadays it's pretty hard to hide. I mean, with the Fargo rate system out there, and with the internet and stuff like that, it don't take long to figure out how good somebody's played. So you're not really hiding anything from anybody, guys. Just get out there and play.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Just go out there and go out there and give everybody your best game and play, man, and get it going.
I mean, not to interrupt. I was speaking of Facebook and stuff. I was reading on the Quad Cities page. I think it was earlier today, and I seen that Will Thompson had posted something about somebody. They're always trying to stir the pot over there.
I was wondering if you were going to say something about that one.
Well, they had a post up there that said, non-professional pool players out of, say like Iowa, best pool players out of Iowa, Illinois, or whatever. And Will had a great idea. Take all the master players, non-professional. I think whatever that is. I don't know what's considered a professional. I think it's got to be over 7 something Fargo rate or whatever it is. But anyways, regardless, I mean, they could all figure that out. I'll put an X amount of dollars in the middle and get all the master players from Illinois, Iowa together, and maybe take them over to Clinton and play at the pool hall there, down the Quad Cities, wherever. Pick a venue, and winner take all. Put all the money in the center and see who plays the best. You could have an 8-ball, 9-ball tournament, whatever. You could do both and have one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday or whatever they wanted to do. I think that would be exciting. Boy, would that be exciting. Yeah. And it would be, it'd be great for TNT tournaments too.
And he had a pretty good list of players too. That's the one you're talking about, that he put together that big list of players?
That is correct.
Yeah. Ryan, I've actually contacted him about that, to try to talk to him about that. So Dustin, if you happen to see this or are watching, check your messenger if you haven't, because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I would love to talk to him about it and get some more information, have him share that. I don't want to say anything out of place, without talking to him. I know you were working with him on that too, weren't you, Hollywood, with Dustin?
Oh, you're talking about his app that he's got coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be better off talking to him. He's definitely much more familiar with everything, all the nuances and everything that's going on with the app that is coming out. But it's going to be it's exciting, and I think it's really going to set the pool world on fire. I mean, for all these tournament directors all over the United States. I mean, they're going to be able to take this app, and they're going to be able to use it right off of their phone. Put everybody's name in. It's going to work. Something very similar to, like a Fargo system. You're going to be put in the system. It's going to be more for the tournament directors. And when you go from, it doesn't matter where you go to, as long as they have that app available, they're going to know what your ranking is.
Right.
If they're having handicap tournaments and stuff like that, they'll know right where to spot you, and it'll do all the bracket sheeting and all that stuff for you at a push of a button. So there's no more writing stuff down on paper or anything. You just click, just kind of like what you do already. It'll be set all up, and it'll keep track of it. And not only that, it'll keep track of it nationwide or all over the globe. No matter where you go, that you'll have that information.
It makes that known list thing a little easier for tournament directors, because then
absolutely, if you got Joe Schmo coming in from California, and you could, with the app that Dustin's going to be putting together, you're going to be able to punch his name into that app, and it's going to tell you he's played X amount of games, this is his ranking, so on and so forth. It's going to tell you everything about that pool player, that from wherever he came from, how many matches he's played, etc. So it's going to be a really, really good deal. And like I said, Dustin definitely could get you, can give you all the nuances, all the details, and all that kind of stuff. He's much more intelligent about it, but what's going on there than I am, because when it comes to the computer world and all that kind of stuff, I'm a little behind, but I'm trying to catch up.
You're getting there, but I didn't mean to giggle. You said intelligent and Dustin in the same line, so nothing but love, Dustin. Nothing but. I have reached out to him though. Like I said, I'd love to sit down and talk to him. So if anybody can cattle prod him a little bit and send him our way, we'll definitely.
Oh
sit
yeah,
down.
I'll rattle his cage, and maybe we'll get him on next week, and then you can sit down and have a talk with him, video chat, and he can kind of go over the app and tell you exactly how it works. But I mean, he's gone over it with me, And I don't want to sit here and claim to know that I know everything about it, so I don't want to mislead anybody.
Right.
So Dustin's definitely the one that you're going to want to talk to. And this ad's definitely going to be set up for people that are running tournaments, just like yourself. And it'll keep all the tournaments directors, in line with one another. It'll help. It's just a great way to run a pool tournament when somebody can just walk in the door and you can say, oh, here's his name. You can type his name into the app. It shows his picture, his ranking system, and blah, 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 blah. And now it's out of the tournament director's hand to try to figure out where to place that person if he's playing in a handicap tournament.
Exactly. That's the one thing that, that tournament players all over are always saying, well, you're making a decision based on your opinion, and that's the way that the tournament things need to go. There needs to be something where the guy can just go, look, it says right here, this is what it is. And I mean, so hopefully, definitely we'll get a chance to talk to Dustin. You got anything else for the cool call out, or you want to let everybody simmer on what?
That's all it for this week, and I'll sit some more this week and do a lot more studying, and then by next Friday I'll have another list of completely different people that I think should be playing one another. But I know that we need to get that Jeremy Coy Alex Grell match going. I know that needs to happen because I still have people ask me about that as of today, and I would also like to see the matchup. I really would like to see this matchup: Josh Suits, Michael Goodman. I think that's a great matchup right there.
You got that stuck in my head. I almost want to go make a flyer for that one because I think that would be Josh. Josh has got such I remember watching him shoot in Princeton that day, and just there's something about the way he approaches the table, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's got that couple seconds where he looks it over, and you can almost hear everything clicking and grinding, and all of a sudden
you can hear the wheels turning.
Yeah, and just it's amazing.
Josh's a good player.
All right, we've been hanging out with Hollywood live from the Pigeon Coop here on TNT Off the Rail with his Hollywood's Pigeon Coop call out. I'll talk to you next week, and we'll get together and maybe with your picks and with your call outs next week, and we'll get some picks on the ones you call out, who you think might be the favorite in it. Appreciate talking to you, bud. I'll get a hold of you sometime in the week, and we'll work out everything for next week's show.
All right, great show, buddy. I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, thanks, Hollywood. Having a good one.
Yep, bye.
Bye. So that was Hollywood live from the Pigeon Coop. We've covered a lot today. Did that drawing for the Lucasi Case and Q. Bryant Lilly, congratulations. You are now the proud owner of a Lucasi hybrid and Lucasi 2x2 case. So get a hold of me if I don't get a hold of you first, and we'll figure out how to get it to you. And thank you to everyone who took part in that. We appreciate that. Watch out for some more stuff coming down the road. Don't forget, we definitely want to share your story. Venue owners, players, tournament directors. I want to talk to you, all of you. I want to share your story. I want to give the sport the exposure it needs, which means we need to sit down with the people, the backbones, the building blocks of the sport, and that's you and me and all the quarter pumpers and stuff like that. So get a hold of me. Hit me up on Facebook. Give me a call, 833-868-7665. Just a ton of ways to get a hold of me. Comment on the video, hit a like up on the Facebook page, turn on the live notifications for Facebook, like and subscribe on YouTube, click the bell, turn on notifications. We're here every Friday night, 8-ish or so, just depends on how my household cooperates with me. Tonight my dogs did not want me to start some. Also, hey Dustin, thanks for swinging by. Get a hold of me. I would love to sit and have a little talk with you, and we can maybe put something real nice together, or maybe even give you a call next week and do it live or something like that. So, been a great day, long day, a lot of crazy stuff going on. We got another month to sit and try to figure out when we're going to get to go hang out with all of our friends at the venues and play in our leagues and our tournaments and finish things and stuff like that. In the meantime, make sure you do whatever you can to help support those venues that are doing whatever they can to keep things going during this time. They are in a rough spot, and if we want to be able to get back to them, and we want them to be there when this is all over, they are going to need our help right now. Check on your venue. See if they're doing some curbside, if they're doing some carry out, something like that. Jessica over at Dave's in Lanark, she's got all kinds of really cool deals on beer. Fellows Pizza there right next door to her is hooked up and is doing some combination deals with pizza and beer. It might be a buck or two more, but you know what? Those people support us. Those people open their doors and they let us in. They let us play pool. They host us and they take care of us. Jessica does an amazing job with the tournaments we have out there. She goes above and beyond, so make sure you're helping her out. Don't forget, all these venues, like, they're going through a tough time. Do what you can, you know, uh, help them. You know, you're never afraid to go and ask them to sponsor a pool team or a softball team or something like that. So go help them out now. You know, buy a six pack, do whatever you can. Stop and grab some food on the way home. Just do what you can to help them out. They've been there for us, and we want them to be there in the future. I'm Bud. This has been TNT's Off the Rail. Like I said, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Click some likes, click some lives, do all that fun stuff. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.